What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we're going to try to help you guys prepare here for Season 7. If you guys did not know, Season 7 is starting very soon. It's starting today, March 1st at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, before we get into the video talking about the top 10 Pokemon and giving you guys 5 teams that you guys can use here for Season 7, I want to remind you guys, before you claim your rewards in Go Battle League, be sure to put down a star piece. You guys are going to get a lot of Stardust, so that is just a public service announcement to remind you to use that star piece. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 10 Pokemon for the Great League. We haven't seen a new update to the moves or anything like that from Niantic, so we'll probably see that in mid-season, just like we saw in Season 6. But yesterday, recording a podcast, if you guys didn't know, I do have a podcast, the Battle Catz. You guys can check that out down in the description. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We have 10 episodes out already, and the 11th one is coming out today. But Caleb Pang and I are the hosts, and we interviewed the creator of PvPoke.com. And what we also did was created basically a starter kit when it comes to Great League. These are going to be those Pokemon, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have them. But if you were to tell someone who's brand new to the game and they want to start in Season 7 in Great League, these 10 Pokemon will give them a lot of success. And if you guys don't have any of these Pokemon, this is the time to try to get them because they're just so strong. On top of that, we're going to build you guys 5 teams for that. So be sure to smash that like button. Let me know what you guys think about this top 10 roster, because of course there are dozens and even more. There's over 100 amazing Pokemon for Great League. So what do you think should have made the list, and what do you think shouldn't be on the list? Now, the qualifications for this list, or the rules for this list, are firstly, it cannot be a legendary because legendary Pokemon are tough to get enough candy for and resources wise. Second, it can't be a mythical Pokemon. And thirdly, it cannot be a regional, so stuff like Tropius we're not going to have on this list because we want Pokemon to be accessible and easily tradable from other trainers. That way you guys can bring it to Go Battle League with relative ease. So let's go ahead and talk about the first 2. I'm sure you guys can guess already. It's going to be Azumarill and Galarian Stunfisk. So if we look at Azumarill right here, Azumarill has arguably been the best Pokemon in Go Battle League for the Great League since Go Battle League came out. This thing's an absolute monster. It's a tank and has great coverage. If you guys have not built an Azumarill yet, it's a great opportunity to do so. You guys could go the route of building XL if you have plenty of candy, or like me, I don't have plenty of candy, and this Azumarill that I've had has worked out really well for me. As you guys can see, the IVs aren't great as well, but it's still phenomenal. So it's a 15, 13, 15 right there, which isn't too bad. I win CMP tie. Galarian Stunfisk right here. Again, it's an absolute monster. This Pokemon helped me get to Legend last season, climbing from 2,700 to 3,000 in 2 days with the team. You guys can see that on the channel. But this thing's an absolute monster. Even with the recent nerf to Rock Slide, it is still amazing, and this is why these are going to be the 2 most suggested Pokemon for Great League for new players, right? There's good reason because they're so strong. Next up, we're going to have the best fighter here in the Great League, and that is going to be Medicham. You guys can invest in one that has really high IVs and then just use XL Candy to power it up, or you guys can go the more expensive route and invest in the best PvP IV for XL and power it up that way. I'm going to have to go with what I have, which is going to be a 14, 14, 15, and then I'm just going to use XL Candy to power this thing up as much as I can. Next up, we have Alolan Marowak. It comes at no surprise, this thing made the list right here. Alolan Marowak, even though it's not ranked highly on PvPoke, it is such a core Pokemon of the Great League meta because simulations aren't everything. This thing is fantastic. If you guys don't have a Shadow Bone one from that raid day, you guys can use Shadow Ball. So just Fire Spin, Shadow Ball, Bone Club. It pairs very well with Azumarill. It's an extremely strong Pokemon, and I highly recommend you guys get this on your roster. Next up, we have Sableye. Now, there's 2 courses you guys could go for Sableye. I would highly recommend, if you have a good IV Sableye that you can purify to get return, so you want to have near 100% IV, that's the route to go because return is such a good move. I still don't have one myself, but if you don't and you're kind of like me, I utilized a lucky trade right here to get a, I believe it's 14, 15, 15. Yeah, 14, 15, 15 trade right here, and it works perfectly fine. It's an amazing safe swap. That's why Sableye is so strong. Return helps it a bit better against like Charmers. It hits really hard neutral damage, but overall this thing is amazing. Sableye is very crucial in the Great League to have as a new trainer. Next up, we have Abomasnow. Abomasnow, man, this thing's an absolute monster. Powder Snow, Weather Ball, Energy Ball. This thing is amazing. It's definitely worth having. It blends really well into a lot of different teams. And you can have great coverages for that. Azumarill pairs really well with this as well. But Abomasnow being a great like anti-dragon, so like an anti-Altaria, as well as anti-grass and anti-Azumarill, and being able to take down Galarian Stunfisk. There's a lot Abomasnow can offer to your team. It's definitely worth investing in. Next up, we have Skarmory. This team of 10 or top 10 definitely needs a flyer, and Skarmory is the one to have. Altaria has kind of fallen from grace a bit because of how many Abomasnows are out there. Galarian Stunfisk does a bit better against it, but Skarmory is so strong. Its only weaknesses are fire and electric, which aren't too common in the meta. This thing's an absolute monster. It has served me well for so long. It has gotten me to rank 10 in previous seasons before Legend was a part of it, and it's an absolute core. I would highly suggest you guys get a Skarmory. Next up, we have Vigoroth. A top 10, I think, definitely needs some great safe swap Pokemon, that being stuff like Azumarill, Sableye, and now Vigoroth. Vigoroth is so spammy, everyone. Body Slam spam with counter and bulldoze is fantastic against the meta. It can meld into a lot of different teams. If you take a core of like Swampert and Skarmory, or Azumarill and Alolan Marowak, and you're like, what safe swaps should I use? You can just default put Vigoroth in, and it's going to do really well. It has the ability to just spam charge moves for neutral damage and put a lot of pressure to get shields from your opponent. Next up, we have Umbreon, one of the bulkiest Pokemon here in the Great League. And if you guys participate in this recent Kanto event, you guys should have been able to get that Last Resort on an Umbreon, which is absolutely crucial. Snarl, Last Resort, Foul Play is so strong. Umbreon is so tanky and can definitely mesh into a lot of teams and provide great coverage, great bulk, and basically soak a lot of damage and save those shields for your sweepers that you may have on your team. So no top 10 should be complete without an Umbreon. And for the 10th Pokemon, there are so many amazing options. Trust me, I wish I could fill them all on here. I'd probably put a top 100, and that still probably wouldn't be enough, but we decided on Swampert here. So Swampert with the Community Day move of Hydrokin. If you guys don't have one yet, you guys can use an Elite Charge TM to get it, or you can wait for a potential event down the line where you guys can get it. But Swampert is so good. Being able to spam Hydro Cannons for a lot of neutral damage on the meta. You also have access to that Sludge Wave, which does super effective damage to the Pure Grass Pokemon or Fairies. So like Azumarill will take massive damage from a Sludge Wave. So we're rounding out this top 10 with a Swampert. It pairs really well with Skarmory, which we're gonna have a part of one of these teams. But so that is the top 10 right here. What do you guys think about these top 10 Pokemon? Yes, I know there are so many other good Pokemon like Pelipper, or Galvantula, or, you know, Surfetch, Hitmonchan, Shadow Machamp, the list goes on and on, but I just wanted to give you guys what I would think if I was brand new to the game and joining into Season 7 of Go Battle League, and I needed someone to tell me the top 10 Pokemon for Great League so I can invest in, make some great teams, and learn how to play the game. This is going to be it. This is going to be the top 10 team, and you can make a lot of teams from that, which we're now going to get into right now. We're going to make 5 teams here with these top 10 Pokemon. All right, the first team is a tried and true team through all previous seasons. That is going to be Azumarill, Alolan Marowak, and Sableye. They provide great coverages to the weaknesses that Azumarill has on the lead. Sableye is the safe swap on this team, and Alolan Marowak is kind of the closer. It's extremely strong. It's been used by so many people to hit Legend or rank 10 in all previous seasons. Ideally, like I said before, you want to have return on that Sableye with near maxed out IVs, or if we start getting to XL Candy where we can catch it, then you want to have better PvP IVs for that, right? But this is an amazing team. I'm sure if you guys are watching this and you've been a follower of the channel for a long time, you guys know how strong this team can be in the Great League. Next up, we're going to have a Swampert Skarmory core right here, utilizing Vigoroth as that safe swaps. All of Skarmory's weaknesses are covered by Swampert, and all of Swampert's weaknesses are covered by Skarmory. And utilizing that Vigoroth on the safe swap, we can put a lot of pressure on shields. We can draw out some stuff that maybe Skarmory might be weak to because that Swampert on the lead, and just put a lot of pressure on the meta. This is definitely a very strong team, very spammy, and you just really have to watch out for like that Shadow Victory Bell on the lead, but it's still manageable with that Vigoroth safe swap. Next up, we have an Abomasnow Swampert core right here with Azumarill as the safe swap. Abomasnow has a lot of weaknesses in the meta, but it also has a lot of great coverages. And the goal with this team is to like win that hard lead against stuff like Altaria or Azumarill or Galarian Stunfisk, which are very common, but if you lose to a fighter or maybe a Alolan Marowak like a fire, you have that Azumarill safe swap with Ice Beam to be able to cover those grass that may come in, and then Swampert is your sweeper endgame. Next up, we have probably one of the most cookie cutter teams you guys can have, but it's very, very strong. That's going to be Medicham, Galarian Stunfisk, and Azumarill. Medicham, some of its biggest weaknesses are going to be stuff like Sableye or maybe those flyers like an Altaria, and you can cover those with the Galarian Stunfisk and Azumarill. They're a solid backline. It's extremely bulky, and it's very, very strong. This is one of those teams where you guys can try out as a new player and really rise up in the ranks learning how to play Go Battle League with this team. And the final team here is going to be a really unconventional team, but it's going to be Skarmory, Umbreon, and Galarian Stunfisk. Talk about a thick team right here. But Skarmory being very weak to electric and fire, that Galarian Stunfisk can provide some really nice cover to it, resisting that electric and having super effective charge moves for fire. On top of that, you may draw out the only fighter they may have in the back, which might be the only counter to Umbreon that they do have, and you can hit back with a lot of damage with that Earthquake, get yourself shield advantage, and look to close endgame with Umbreon. It's an extremely bulky team and very flexible when it comes to the meta. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this top 10 roster that we have right here. The teams that we built with it, we were able to utilize all of these Pokemon in each individual team, and there's so many more teams that you guys can build on top of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.